Greetings from the wasteland, and it's time once again for our weekly check of new vinyl releases, hopefully headed to an independent record store near you. This batch is for the release week of July 1st, and holy cow, are there a lot of them. According to our distributor, the list stands at nearly 600 records, 591 to be exact. So rest assured, we're not going to go through every single one here. We'll just hit the highlights and some of the more important or key releases that we think are there. If we missed something or you're curious about something, please let me know in the comments below or send a message here to the store and we'll do what we can to find it. And if you see something that you cannot live without, please let us know by Sunday evening so we can get this into our orders for that week and then hopefully have it the following week on the Friday that it releases, barring any shipping delays though, of course. So why are there so many releases slated for July 1st? That's a great question. I think some of it may have to do with a little bit of the backlog clearing up after the record store day drop and everything else that's going on, although I doubt that that's really going to clear up as well as we need it to anytime soon. This also could be the result of some of the other releases that have been delayed finally coming out, and they just push their release date back to the next available or whenever they think that's going to happen. And also, for some reason this week, we're seeing a lot of video game soundtracks and regular movie soundtracks showing up in here as well. I'm not going to list any of the video game soundtracks because there's just way too many of them to get into. But again, feel free to drop us a line here at the store if you're looking for something in particular, and I'll let you know if that is on the list. But onward we go to the slate of highlights from July 1st, and we're starting off with new stuff from the band Shinedown. Multi-platinum rock band Shinedown have released their new lead single, Planet Zero, which is the title track from this album. And this has already come out on CD, I believe, and so the vinyl version is hitting the stores on July 1st. And the new Shinedown Planet Zero will list for about $30. An interesting one coming out from Fleet Foxes. This is called A Very Lonely Solstice, coming out on indie exclusive clear vinyl. And according to our description, this is a 13-track career-spanning collection recorded in December of 2020 in Brooklyn, New York's St. Anne and Holy Trinity Church, now being released for the first time on vinyl, CD, and digital formats. A Very Lonely Solstice captures a poignant moment in time. The recording was originally broadcast as a live stream event on the winter solstice of 2020, just days after New York declared a state of emergency due to, well, all the things in 2020. Much of A Very Lonely Solstice showcases acoustic arrangements of fan-favorite songs spanning Fleet Foxes' catalog. Also featured are a couple of covers of Nina Simone's In the Morning and a rearrangement of the traditional Silver Dagger. So look for Fleet Foxes' A Very Lonely Solstice on clear vinyl, indie exclusive. Could be a very interesting compilation from the band. The Fleet Foxes compilation lists at around $28. And here is your quarterly release, or so it seems, from Guided by Voices. They put one out so often it is almost troublesome to keep track of. Tremblers and Goggles by the Rank is the name of this new one. And according to our description, this marks a new phase in Robert Pollard's songwriting evolution. Description goes on to say it plays out like an intricate and powerful collage in a very multicolored and multifaceted fashion. And the new Tremblers and Goggles by the Rank from Guided by Voices will list at around $23. An interesting one from Nick Cave. This is called Seven Psalms, and this is being released on 10-inch limited edition vinyl, housed in a dark sleeve with grain embossed finish. The title and crucifix on the cover are rendered in gold foil. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Seven Psalms features 7 spoken word pieces by Nick Cave, set to music in collaboration with Warren Ellis. List price on this 10-inch from Nick Cave looks to be around $27. New country music from the band Midland. This is The Last Resort, Greetings From. Limited edition transparent green colored vinyl. Midland likes their music straight up, according to our description. Hardcore country, the kind you find in forgotten bars in Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, or wherever the neon's buzzing but not quite dead. You gotta love these PR descriptions. The Last Resort, Greetings From, is going to be on limited edition transparent green vinyl, as we mentioned, and will list for about $23. I'm including this next one simply because I love the name of this, and it harkens back to a wonderful little nugget of movie history. This is the band A Wilhelm Scream, and the name of the album is Lose Your Delusion. It is a brand new release from A Wilhelm Scream. The fiery punk rock outfit are back and just shy of a decade without putting out anything new, so this is well anticipated. And it has a pulse-pushing new song called Be One to No One. It's the lead track, so watch out. The Wilhelm Scream is back. Now look this up online if you need to. Get the history of what the Wilhelm Scream is. You know you've heard it somewhere. I used to teach filmmaking and the like, and we spent a whole 15-20 minutes on the history of that wonderful little nugget of movie history. Lose Your Delusion by A Wilhelm Scream will list at around $25. This next one is a bit tricky because I'm seeing two entries on this, so I'm not sure if it's two separate releases or just two separate entries screwed up in our ordering system. But this is the soundtrack from John Williams to Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. One of the descriptions says that this is in partnership with Mondo, so hence the real cool looking album cover. But Mondo, in partnership with Walt Disney Records and Lucasfilm, present this all new 4 LP expanded edition of the soundtrack to 2016's Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. In anticipation of the film's 5th anniversary, it includes nearly over an hour of previously unreleased music and recording sessions from the film, featuring all new original artwork, as is the case with lots of the cool Mondo stuff. And mastered for vinyl, pressed on 180-gram black vinyl, this collector's set is an essential for Star Wars fans. So again, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, expanded 4 LP edition, listing at about $101. And whether or not this is the same version or not, this is also coming from Mondo and Light in the Attic, listing at the same price but showing separate artwork. So again, I'm going to kind of err on the side of I think that this is just a double entry for Rogue One. So the artwork is the different Mondo artwork and not the one from the original release. But all the same, if this proves to be different, I will let you guys know. Coming up on the reissue front for the July 1st releases, we're leading off with one from Raven, All for One. This is a Culture Factory reissue of the band's 1983 album. Coming on red and black smoke vinyl, this will list for around $25. Something also from Faster Pussycat, this is called Whipped. Originally released in 1992, this reissue is coming on limited edition clear vinyl from Real Gone Music and will list for around $30. We're getting a double vinyl reissue greatest hits collection from Dire Straits coming up on the 1st as well. This is Money for Nothing, a remastered version thereof, coming from Universal Imports. This greatest hits collection from Dire Straits, originally released in October of 1988, features songs from the band's first 5 albums. Fully remastered by Bob Ludwig and cut by Bernie Grundman, this reissue includes hits Telegraph Road, which is a live remix, by the way, previously only available on the original CD format, plus a brand new mix of Portobello Bell, and that is also a live version. Again, a double LP Dire Straits Greatest Hits compilation reissue, listing a little thick, this one coming in at $65 for a suggested retail price. 2 from the vault for the Grateful Dead. This is a 4 LP set. First time ever on vinyl, this limited 4 LP vinyl pressing in a gatefold tip-on jacket, following on the heels of Light in the Attic's LP release of one from the vault, comes the next in the trilogy of their From the Vault sessions by the Grateful Dead. This release distinguishes itself from the more abundant Dick's Picks series in that Dick's Picks are direct from the soundboard recordings, while the From the Vault series were professionally recorded on multi-track tape and then mixed down decades later for the releases. This one was recorded live at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles in 1968, and this marks the worldwide vinyl debut of this release of this legendary show featuring the classic lineup of the Grateful Dead. So this 4 LP set from the Grateful Dead, 2 from the vault, lists at around $101. Speaking of cool remix reissues, here's Aqualung. It's the Steven Wilson mix. Steven Wilson, of course, a great producer, a member of Porcupine Tree, and a solo artist in his own right, has taken to remixing some great prog and classic rock albums. This has already been released, so I'm assuming that this is going to be a repressing from Rhino and Parlophone. but it is the 2011 Steven Wilson remix pressed on 180-gram vinyl from Jethro Tull's Aqualung. This one listing at around $22. Some live stuff from Iron Butterfly in the remix mixed today, live in Copenhagen, 1971 from Purple Pyramid Records. This is now a double vinyl pressing of the vintage live set from the psych rock powerhouse Iron Butterfly, captured here at the peak of their popularity and of their powers. This show features mind-blowing renditions of the classic rock anthems Easy Rider and, of course, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, and it was the final performance of the group's epic tour with the up-and-coming prog act Yes, which joined Butterfly on stage for a live farewell jam session. So that's what makes this special over original versions of this live in Copenhagen, again, double LP, is the fact that side 2 of disc 2, side 1 is In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida in its entirety, but side 2 is the Goodbye Jam featuring members of Yes. Again, coming from Purple Pyramid Records, this is a double LP release, limited edition silver vinyl, and will list for around $37. Neat blues reissue coming from John Lee Hooker, Don't Turn Me From Your Door is the name of this one, from Speaker's Corner Records. Looks to be a single LP black vinyl reissue, and I'm not certain if this is right or not, but the list price on this shows it at $54. So this one could be a little thick, but also a must for a lot of John Lee Hooker fans. Finally, here's an interesting one. I don't know if I'm going to be saying this correctly, but Fairy Jimmy is the name of the artist, and the album is Rhythm Revolution. It's a double LP pressing. Acid Jazz presents one of Afrobeat's most mysterious and rare records by a former schoolteacher, boxer, and bodyguard, Fairy Jimmy and Rhythm Revolution. The album was originally recorded in the mid-1970s, and again could be a very rare find on the original side. But this reissue is coming, as we mentioned, from Acid Jazz Records, double LP release, and will list for about $30. And speaking of Yes, as we were earlier, this reissue coming from World Trade. This is the album Euphoria, coming from Magna Carta, which is a subsidiary of Cleopatra. This is a revamped and reissued version of the second album from the prog rock supergroup, featuring Yes veterans Chris Squire and Billy Sherwood. This has all new artwork and new digipack packaging. Makes this a must-have for prog rock aficionados. Appearing here on vinyl for the first time, limited edition blue vinyl, by the way. This is World Trade, and Euphoria listing for about $37. Well, speaking of progressive rock, here's a very interesting one from something called the Prog Collective. This is called Songs We Were Taught, coming from Purple Pyramid Records. This is a limited edition double LP housed in a gatefold jacket. Now, it is a 2022 release, and producer Billy Sherwood once again leads this uber-talented prog rock supergroup, this time on a trip through some of the most recognizable and influential folk and art rock songs of their generation. So you're going to get some progressive rock cover tunes in the form of The Sound of Silence with members from Yes and Asia, Year of the Cat from Billy Sherwood, David Clayton Thomas from Three Dog Night doing House of the Rising Sun, Fire and Rain being covered by folks from Curved Air and Jethro Tull, The Weight featuring Rod Argent and Jeff Skunk Baxter of the Doobie Brothers, Wild World featuring folks from the Moody Blues, It's Too Late from Candice Night from Blackmore's Night, and Dweezil Zappa. That's an interesting pairing in there. And The Times They Are A-Changin' from folks from The Flock and Wishbone Ash. So this sounds like a very, very cool collection of prog artists doing songs that you wouldn't normally think or hear them do. Songs We Were Taught by the Prog Collective, coming on purple vinyl from the Purple Pyramid Records, lists at around $27. And finally, we cannot seem to escape these types of tribute albums. Here is one called Pure Fire, the Ultimate Kiss Tribute, coming also from Cleopatra and Deadline Music. This pressing is an enormous gathering of rock stars and heroes who pay homage to one of the most popular bands in music history, of course, Kiss. Featuring a whole host of artists, including Dee Snider, Lemmy is on here, folks from Toto, Chris Jericho, Buzz Osborne from the Melvins, members of King's X and CC DeVille, plus many, many more. So these are a whole collection of some of Kiss's biggest tunes, sung by some of rock's favorite artists as well. So Pure Fire, the Ultimate Kiss Tribute, is coming on red vinyl and will list for about $27. So that is a look at the highlights of some of the huge number of releases headed to an independent record store near you for Friday, July 1st. Once again, the results may vary depending upon whether or not there's shipping delays or production delays, so check with your local store for availability. And if you're local here in our area and you see something you like, please just let me know by Sunday evening and we'll get it into this week's orders. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk to you next time from the Wasteland.